what I am gonna do as well is you see you still sharing my screen.
Yeah, I can
You,
see your
you,
screen.
you
Hold
see
on.
that?
Yeah,
You see that stop replay buffer?
yeah.
If you enable that like it is now, I've got a hotkey on my computer. I think you can see it through settings. You can basically record the last 60 seconds. So when I'm streaming and I've come across good bits, I can just put them all together in a little collection of all the good bits. But I can do it with the podcast as well. So I was thinking about starting like an Instagram channel and then just putting little bits up, whether we get funny ones or if we get any images from different streams that we do. If I get thingy, what's the names, Katie and Carl to put their streams on as well, we could get a bit of an exposure that way as well. But
Mm.
I don't know. It's a long way off, maybe. Who knows? But it says that we've come live on. Yeah, but I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's good. I mean, I just wish I knew more about it. I'm all for it, but say, but I've explained to you before how the show got quite stuck in its ways and how it is what it is and how I ended up doing it was
Yeah,
just the way that I learned. It wasn't necessarily the easiest way.
yeah.
We've got a visitor. Come and say hello. Just shout hello.
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 Can you hear? So say again.
Hello.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Showing you his homework.
You're showing me your homework. Oh, well done.
They're all right.
They're all right. That's very good. And you've done your other bit of homework. That's good. Well done. Ice cream cone. That's not surprising, is it? Right. Well done, Alexander. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's saying on mine that we're live. Probably tell you that I'm in there as well, probably.
Uh,
As long as I haven't got sound on, because then it obviously echoes.
yeah. Well, it definitely. I think it works. Let me just try that transition. Just see if that goes through. Let me just play that. You've got to play a little bit. I just need to make sure that the sound doesn't come on. I'm not sharing the screen, but I've got it on mute, so it should. Yeah, that's come through. Just listen to the sound. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
We're up and running.
Yeah, it's all go, and I've commented as well. I can see that it's doing something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, saying that they wouldn't be able to keep eye on the chat. Oh, would they? Yeah, I suppose they would. I've asked Katie and everybody else if they can keep an eye on the stream chat. So I mean, obviously you're hosting, so you just don't want to be looking at that as well, do you? But if they, because on the notes I've put in all of the recent Twitch followers for Kate to shout out. I've messaged her just to say,
Okay.
are you
Cool.
alright doing that? But I think we ought to just get them shouted out and then.
Yeah, because I've noticed I went on. Well, I didn't go on there because I don't know what the login is, but I went on to have a look at what it looked like and follow it because I hadn't done it. I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Right. Before we get going, I'm gonna go. All right. I've just got to go and get a drink and.
Yeah, no worries.
So,
Whatever, mate. That's fine.
so it'll be a couple of minutes.
Yeah, cool.
Right. Cheers.
Just testing the audio. Hopefully we'll be alright. Yep, that's fine. Woo!
Oh, I thought I pressed the button. Oh my god, what have I just done? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's the plug board falling over. Oh well, I lent on the wrong thing. What's that? What had this? Oh, right. So we need to drag some people in, don't we? I need to start recording. Let's start recording now.
Hang on a sec, hang on, turn it back off.
Hold on.
Right, I'm going to stop streaming and then start it up again so we can put this onto YouTube without having to edit it and put any breaks on or whatever.
Well, I always put the other stuff in after, so it will probably be out of sync slightly.
Oh, of course, yeah. All right, fuck it. Let's just stick it on.
All right. Yeah, until we work out a way how we do it live.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, right. Let's drag some people in. That's doing that. Who have we got? We've got us. We've got Carl with no picture. We've got Katie, and we've got Antonio. Add. Let's see who wins the race. Antonio wins.
Hey!
No, gentlemen, 1 second.
Katie second.
Oh!
I'm grabbing my pop filter.
And
By the way, I have seen that frickin' review email from Mark.
oh yeah.
I didn't.
It's gonna make me so self-conscious now of what I fucking say.
I didn't realise you was going to put it on the show notes, Kyle.
I did. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just like. I can't
Hello.
say basically now.
I wouldn't worry too much about it because I've noticed
no,
that I say the same thing over when we go between sections and do certain things. It's only a matter of time before Mark picks up on that and I get the next email.
There we go.
And I say
Hello.
about 6 million times.
Well, wasn't it shit that you were saying before or something?
Yeah,
Or
that's
just-
I think that's a veteran gamers thing. I say shit a lot. Yeah.
So, well, I suppose are we going? I don't really understand how we're doing this.
Yeah, we just go as normal. We're just streaming. So if anybody's on Twitch, there's like 4 followers. I think now. No, we got 8 people.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But how many of them are us?
That all of us.
All of them.
So we're all
hope
watching
so.
ourselves. We're massive in our own group. So I don't know. We just just go as normal. Kyle.
Cole muted himself, or is he?
Yeah, I'm muting myself.
Oh,
Oh, I posted you. There you go.
I am
I just-
here.
I just clicked something and I don't know whether I muted you or unmuted you. I don't know what happened.
Better not have.
I don't know. I can hear you, so all is well.
I'm just trying
so-
to host the channel.
Oh, I don't understand all of this stuff. I'm scared.
No, it's scary.
It is, yeah. Well, at my end, it all looks the same, but I know that all the muck-ups are, yeah,
Can I just?
delayed
I
pauses.
was just gonna say, I just want to ask Carl.
Yes,
Have you seen the new Spider-Man trailer?
I have just seen it. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's not animated, so I ain't seen it.
No. I just had to ask Carl. 'cause
Live
I know
action. You lose me.
He's a good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Jake Gyllenhaal's really
I'm
good.
just trying to host the channel for some reason. It's not working.
So, Pete, are we all going for one thing? Is that how we're doing this today? As a bit of like a test sort of thing, or was that I've got a bit confused?
Still normal, I think.
Yeah, I think we're just going to go as the show notes. The show notes should be in the order that we should go in. It was just that I think me and you were going to go into one thing, and Antonio and Carl was going to go into the same one. I think that was Spider-Man. No, we just. I think we was just going to cover one game each.
Okay. Yeah,
you said you wanted a quick show to play to play Detroit. So
I do. Yeah. And Sam wants to carry on with that too.
yeah. So
Oh, that's cool. It's cool.
yeah.
You're playing it kind of together.
Yeah.
Or she's watching you and you play it.
Yeah, I get her to make some of the decisions and stuff. But saying that, you ain't got a lot of time sometimes. And it looks like we're going to play Newcastle in the cup. Right. Oh God, press something.
You're
Okay.
going to be what? So Carl and Antonio are going to be talking about Into the Spider-Verse, or no game? Sorry, game. What are you talking about?
Game. Oh no, I was talking about Newcastle. I don't know whether that was what. Newcastle are playing their replay tonight, and we're playing whoever wins at their place. So it's 2-0 after 20 minutes. So it looks like Newcastle. Which
we
means I
should
won't be going.
Yeah, we'll just be talking about Into the Spider-Verse. So
Oh, okay. I'm going to be seeing that this weekend, by the way. So
right, we've dropped to 5 people. They've listened to us and they've thought, "What a load of wank! I'm coming out of this."
Yeah.
You can definitely tell you're new to Twitch because you're good. I don't want to hear every time someone comes and joins because it's horrible. Sometimes you have 20 people on stream. Some days no one comes to a stream.
It's all right. It's fine.
It's just
It's
the life you have
fine.
to understand as a streamer.
Right.
You'll also learn fuck all them ever talk. Yeah,
The-
like that one or two people that are really nice and always
There we
speak to
go.
you. The rest are like, yeah, cool.
I don't
I'm
care.
hosting you. There we go.
We're just going to get it out there. It's bigger exposure.
One of them might have been me, so I'm back. Right. Okay. Are we all ready?
Yes.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to Carl. What are you going to say?
I think I just got sound ready. But...
I thought it was you, but that I'll have to look back at the recording and work out how little
Ready,
you
honey?
said, but I knew it was you.
It was enough.
Right, let's try again. Hello, one and all, and welcome to episode 43 of the Entertainers podcast, your one-stop shop into the world of entertainment. From TV to films, from gaming to sport, we have it all. I'm your host, Kyle Adams, and joining me this week, we have Katie, Carl, Antonio, and Pete. And yeah, just before we get going,
Yes.
we are experimenting, or Pete is experimenting. Pete, would you like to just talk a little bit about what you're doing? Because this show could be a car crash.
Yeah, it could. We could break the internet. No, we're just streaming the show. So hopefully we'll be able to get our show out onto YouTube eventually when we get to mix all the audio in properly. But for now, we're just streaming our show, so it's live through Twitch as we record. And hopefully we don't screw up much tonight. So
Well, we were streaming before, but now we're on our own podcast channel. Search the Entertainers on Twitch, and you will find us now.
yeah,
Instead of on my channel as a surplus. So yeah, woo! Our own thing.
there we go.
Crazy times. Yeah, we said that there'd be changes, and I suppose this is one of them. The only thing that hasn't changed is my setup. I've got no idea what's going on. I can just still see what I'm always able. Sort of following it a little bit on my phone, but yeah, I need to change my setup. Which
That's what good underlings do, though. The boss doesn't hear any of the bad stuff. We deal with that, and then you just see the result.
well, I guess we don't really have a boss, but yeah,
Calls the boss.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right, well, Antonio, why don't you tell us what you've been up to since, well, maybe before last week, or maybe, I don't know, Christmas time, or just after till now, because obviously last week was our game of the year, so we didn't really cover much. But
That's true.
what have you been up to?
Well, Christmas time for me was just going home and seeing family because I don't live at home anymore, so it was nice to go home and see everybody. For me, it's just been preparing for a presentation I had today and then a meeting I have on Thursday, which I think I can say who it is now because we're soon to be in writing. I'm going to Amazon to one of their workshops in early February
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
to do some work with them for their Alexa and Echo. So basically, I'm making a film and they want Alexa and Echo integration. And the way I'll be pitching it to people who don't get it is, but no games. Mass Effect 3, you can say actions with the Kinect. That. So, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be cool. I don't know, it's still in pre-production. I'm scared, not gonna lie. Because it's Amazon, and if I fuck up, it's quite public. It'll be on Prime, so that's quite public if I fuck up. But yeah.
As a
just
paying
me.
customer.
Is that just you then, Antonio, or is there a bunch of you?
I would be the director and writer.
Ah.
There are gonna be other people on there, but I think I'm the head because I wasn't the one that was brought to this. I was brought to this project because I know the tech side of it. Because I am making an interactive film as my final graduate project, and it's through a thing called Echo, which uses CSS coding, and I know
Right.
how to do that.
Yeah.
And apparently that is something they wanted. So there you go. But yeah, just work and the Amazon shitting my pants thing. That's all me.
Well, if it's on Prime and it's visible, mate, don't worry. We can get all the communities together and just chuck a load of 5-star reviews on there. Be fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. A little call out actually. If anyone has any good dieting tips, please tell me because I was weak today. I had chocolate for the first time in like a month, and I feel weak. I feel
Well,
I've failed myself.
To be honest, the first time in a month sounds pretty good. But mine
It's
is
Yeah.
good,
at
but
least
it's not good when you have
twice
a
a
full
day.
fucking chocolate orange in one sitting. Just disappointing.
That's nothing.
Yeah. Just
Wait,
slap,
get on.
slap yourself.
I can do an hour of cardio and lose, a tiny bit of weight. Have one slice of chocolate and I'm back on. My metabolism is shit.
Man.
Whatever. Health talk. Hello. I play video games.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's all me. Thank you very much.
Well, all the best anyway. Hopefully you'll be able to keep us updated along the way and tell us how you
Indeed,
get
I
on.
shall.
Katie, what about yourself?
So two things. Since it's before Christmas, I was pretty much thinking of changing up my career. Basically, people don't know, I work with children, 3 part-time jobs or children-based. Been doing those jobs for on and off 5 years, I feel like. 5 years, I think so. And basically, just over Christmas. See, I bet basically. It will be revealed later why I'm worried about saying basically. But yeah, I just needed a career change. I need more money. My parents are moving to France once my old man retires this year, and
Wow.
my mother will be retiring not long after to
Wow.
live off my old man's money.
The
But,
dream.
yes. But so yeah, I'm getting the house, but obviously that comes with a lot more in terms of bills and so on and so forth. So yeah, hopefully looking to get a new job. I have applied. It is it's little, so it's nothing fabulous, but it's more money. It's it's set shifts, if you know what I mean. So it's not because with my job right now, I'm in out of the house all the time. Whereas like I'd rather have like a set shift, and then when I get day off, I don't leave the house. So, or I don't have to go out to work. I have like a day off. So it's
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess people think of retail not exciting or anything, but it's exciting times ahead because it's something I haven't done before.
It pays
But
pretty
I
well,
haven't-
though.
That's what people say. Lidl,
Just-
out of all the supermarkets, do tend to look
Mm.
after their staff.
Yeah, and
quite
Aldi.
well.
Aldi's another one, and they've got a good management structure, and you can build a good career through both of those. They're good.
Mhm.
Morrison's is shit. Sorry, that's my 2 cents.
That was my second
I was
option.
treated like shit.
That was my
I
second
treated like
option
shit
if
there.
if Lidl rejects me. So I may.
Little seems pretty chill
That's
from
a
what
plus.
I have a mate that works there. He says it's pretty chill, especially if you do night shifts. You can have a headphone in when you're stacking. So yeah.
I'm probably tending
Good
to
luck
go
to you.
more.
know-
To go more for the late shifts. Thank you. Tended to go
Mm.
more for the late shifts because one of the other reasons why I wanted to switch up my jobs is because my early morning job, I just hate mornings. I just
Oh,
hate
yeah.
mornings. I feel like I'd be a much happier person if I didn't have, if I had my mornings given back to me. Because my friend who works there, like this is how I actually kind of got wind of that they were looking. He said that basically there's a lot more people that prefer lates rather than earlies, which kind of surprised me. But yeah, so I've applied for all the lates. I've done all the online tests and CV and stuff. So that was a couple of days ago at the weekend I did it. So still haven't heard anything, but then it did say it probably would take roughly around 2 weeks for them to get back to me, I think. So fingers crossed. I mean, I have other options. I've looked at other places to search if they say no, but I'm very confident I think they'll say yes, and my friend was confident they'll say yes too. So yeah, hopefully that will happen. Exciting times ahead.
Ooh.
And what I got up to this past weekend is basically, I'm saying basically, that's about it.
You basically haven't got to worry about it. Just keep
no.
on going.
Yeah, a friend who moved away came down to a local town of mine, Letchworth, to see us all, to see like our group of friends again, and we went out and had some drinks at a Weatherspoons. And I don't drink that much. I don't drink that much. I'm a social drinker, but I had a little bit to drink. But I wasn't wasn't tipsy or anything like that. But when I drink, I tend to have a bad bladder because and people have told me it's because people who don't drink so much. That's what happens. That's what tends to happen. And before I left, I got the last train home, which was it was a 5 to 1. And I thought before I left the pub, I'm like, all right, I'll go to the bathroom because I feel like I need to go. And I went. I got the train home. It was about a 5-minute train journey, and then it's probably about a 20-minute walk from train station to my house because I live on like the other side of the town, whereas, well, like my house is like on one end of the town, train station's on the other end. So about 20 to 25 minute walk, roughly. And I got like down the hill from the train station, and the feeling came again, like, oh God, I need to go to the bathroom. So I thought I'll just walk quicker. And obviously, as you walk quicker, that doesn't help. And I got probably about 5 minutes. Like I walked for a further extra 5 minutes, and then I thought I really need to find somewhere to go bathroom, otherwise I'm going to piss myself. And I was still quite a bit away from home, so I was actually roughly around like 10 past or 1:15 in the morning. There's me running around at the bottom of the town trying to find somewhere that's still open. And I was starting to get that dreaded feeling inside me, like, fucking hell, I'm gonna fucking piss myself if I don't do something.
You just have to do Paula Radcliffe. It's fine.
That's what I
Don't
mean.
worry.
And basically, I saw this. I saw there's a local pub near to a bank that closed down the bottom of the town, and I ran over there. The lights were still on, and I got to the door and I tried to open it. It was locked, so I was like, shit. And then I was just looking around like really desperate, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then I saw that there's the hotel. There's a hotel in my town. It's obviously my town's a small town, so it's a very small hotel. But I thought, off chance they're going to still be open because it's a hotel, so I actually ran like the wind to that place, and the door was open. There were 2 people inside, like stacking up things, ready to go, like ready to get out, ready to go home. And they must have thought I don't know, they must have thought I was mental, because I was like, I'd walked on, like, I don't know, I was like thanking God at that point. I was like, is there a toilet here? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, thank God. And I just ran. I just ran to the bathroom. And yeah, they must have thought like I walked on holy ground or something for the first time. I was like, holy shit, thank you very much. Oh, but no, that was an interesting night. I was just so worried I was going to go home to my parents and tell them the next morning. I pissed myself walking home because I drank too much.
I wasn't expecting that story to go there, but
No.
to be honest with you, most times I drink, I feel like that.
But I just, I literally was so worried because I'm just like, I don't want to do that, but obviously, you gotta go.
You'd have to get a shiwi or something.
And that's why I'm like, why am I not a freaking guy? Because that would be so much easier. But
Yeah.
I managed to make it to the promised land, which was the toilet. So
There you go.
I'm probably
Awesome.
sharing too
Yes,
much
sir.
information with you now, but I've got this colon inflammatory disease called ulcerative colitis, and that's what you feel like pretty much all day, every day, if you don't take your medication properly. It's awful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah,
It's
that was
awful.
awful.
Damn.
Yeah. It's no good, man. No good.
No.
Take your meds. And the other thing I was
Indeed.
going to say about jobs as well. Do you know another place where they look really happy? IKEA. You know, I walk around that place and they look chill as fuck. All of them. They're like, they're looking like they're living the dream. Go around, Katie, if you've never been around one before, and look at the staff.
They just look like they're sure they're not on drugs or anything.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they look so happy. I don't know whether it's because they know how to build all this stuff and the people who are wandering around buying it ain't got a clue and they're just thinking, yeah, I know how to build that and that's going to take you fucking 5 hours. But I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they look so chilled and happy. That would be a place I'd apply.
Sweet.
IKEA.
Okay, is that it then, Katie?
Yes, that is it.
Okay, well, for me, since Christmas, I had quite a good break off. I think I mentioned on one of the other shows. Didn't do a lot. I went to a lot of football matches. I'm not going to cover them later. I'll just recap of what's going on. And other than that, yeah, back to work. Been very busy. I think I've already worked something like 11 days out of 15, including 9 days in a row. So yeah, it's literally back into the swing of things, and Christmas feels like a long time ago. What about yourself, Carl?
Well, it's, I don't know, it's that post-Christmas blues a little bit, you know. Work for me is, you know, my job's really chill, to be fair. I don't tend to, it's took 20 years, like, but I think I get to that point now where I know what I'm doing, and I don't take any shit off anybody, really. So my job's always quite relaxed.
What do you do, Carl?
I work in corporate finance, so I've been in banking for, since 1998, I think I started. So I won't say who I work for, but I've never actually worked in a bank at all. I've always worked in corporate. So it's sometimes it's quite interesting. Sometimes it's a bit dull, and this is just one of those times of year where it's all a little bit slow. So it's chill, fairly chill at the minute. But I've had a lot of time to organise things. I like to get my new holidays for the year. Think what am I going to do this year? So I've been planning a little trip to the States in April to see my podcast buddies. So I'm going to pop over to Chicago, see my buddy Joel in Milwaukee, and then we're going to hang out for the weekend. We've got this thing called Midwest Gaming Classic over there in Wisconsin, and we put like bands on stuff over the weekend. And then on the Monday, I think we're going to fly to Vancouver and see Shane, have a few beers with him and stuff. So just trying to organise things, make sure people have got passports and visas and all that sort of stuff. And so looking forward to that at the minute. Just I like the planning. I like looking forward to stuff like that and organising that. So it's pretty much all I've been doing at the minute.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't believe that was getting close to a year ago that you were over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sounds like an awesome thing to do. Know that'd be it's one of your objectives to get everyone in the same place at the same time. So I look forward to hearing about that.
We'll do a live show as well or two. I'm sure we will when we're all together.
Oh, that'd be great. All right, and Pete, we're coming to you. We deliberately left you till last. I remember, I think, was it last week when we were recording? There was a particular day that you said you couldn't do.
That's right.
Why was that?
I decided to take my good lady to Cannock Chase. It's a place that means a lot to us. We went on our first date there, but as well as that, we've gone on camping trips there. We've been cycling. We've gone on a lot of the routes there. We've spent a lot of time walking there, and I took her there on Wednesday, and I proposed to her.
Wow!
Get out!
Yay!
And what did she say?
Do you know what she said? Yes, before I even asked a question. And I said, "I'm not even asked yet," and she said, "Yeah, yes." So,
congratulations!
Yeah, congratulations!
It's a good
lovely.
day. Thank you. So that's my news. I can't really think of anything else because that's the only thing that's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Bit of a slow week though, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll have to try harder, Pete. Did you get down on one knee and all the rest of it?
Yeah, I got the dirty leg. I put like a book together of like different reasons, different things. Why I love her and the things that she does for me, and then towards the end of that, which she didn't even pick up on, as leading towards that, and then that's what I did afterwards. So yeah, it was nice because it was a great day as well. It was really sunny. It wasn't warm. It was freezing actually, but it was a nice setting, and it was right by the pools as well in the middle of Cannock Chase, and it was a nice little romantic moment. So I did cry, and that's just I'm a soppy git. But yeah, so thankfully,
nice one.
Thanks.
I remember when I asked Sam the question, I asked it before my knee even touched the ground. I was so nervous, I just blurted it out, and it just almost went completely wrong. But she knew what I meant. That's fantastic news.
Thank you.
And as I say, stag do.
I know. Yeah, I really don't know what to plan. Who knows? We're thinking like 2021 for the wedding, so we've got time to work on a few things. We both Shell and I, we hate normal weddings. It ain't our thing, so we're gonna go all wacky. Yeah, we're gonna. I don't know. We're thinking maybe something in line of a festival, maybe a small wedding and an intimate meal, but have a bigger celebration for the party. So we might not do it all on one day. We might just do the wedding and meal one day, and then the next day we'll have a celebration. But we'll do a little mini festival because I know a couple of bands, and there's an artist that just lives at the back of my mum and dad's who does George Formby tribute and does a load of other stuff with banjos, keyboards, and yeah, he's pretty cool. So
we're not cleaning windows and all that.
Yeah. So we're I don't know. We've got loads to plan, ain't we?
Yeah. Look forward to hearing your plans as time moves on. It will soon come round.
It will.
Okay. Well, that is it. So I think we should move on to our TV and film section. And now this is where everything goes wrong. So
it's not. Shh.
So right. Well, who do you want to go first? What have you set up, or what do you plan to do?
Let's go with Antonio and Carl.
Yeah.
All right. Let me preface this with I saw this on the 1st of December 2018. This is the 4th podcast I think I've spoken about this on now. So if you want to hear an in-depth analysis of this, go to Listen Get About Movies. But the short and sweet of it is, my history of superhero movies is, they're animated, cool. They're live action. I'm probably going to find them boring because a lot of them are. And yeah, this when we did our Gavin About 2018 thing, this was my favorite film of 2018. I really enjoyed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Carl, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd echo that, mate. I listened to Gavin About actually today while I was at work. One of the benefits of being able to chuck your ears in, and And yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, if you want a detailed explanation review of it, then definitely go listen to Gavin about. Just ignore Antonio's comments about Audio Slave. I'll let that one slide. This was great for me because I expected just a fun Spider-Man film, as you do, going to the cinema. I took the boy, and we're both comic fans and stuff. And I don't know, there's something about it, something about the style. The animation's beautiful. It really is one of the best looking films I've seen in terms of animation, and the story was just really, really well done. I love the fact it was focused around Miles, and the whole relationship with his dad and his uncle, and it's all. I don't know. It had me not. I didn't shed a tear, but I was close at a couple of points. I was like, oh, it's touching, and it was just a nice way of doing the story, and obviously having the dimensions and the stuff coming in and the way that they treat origin stories and stuff in that respect, I thought was quite clever. I quite like that.
I mean, the main thing for me that really stood out was the animation, because this is the same company that gave us such hits as the Emoji Movie. So,
wow.
it's nice to have some parallels. And I follow a lot of the art designers on Twitter who worked on this. And basically, if you want a little bit of in-depth behind-the-scenes thing, they were split into 4 separate teams. And each team was asked to focus on 1 or 2 of each of the Spider-Men. So, yeah, that gives you some context to the different styles that we use. Because, what was a lovely touch was each Spider-Man came with a different style. And this is probably the most accessible, dumb comic book movie. So what I mean by that is comic books, I'm going to be real with you, are really dumb. I read a lot of comic books. And at least with superhero ones, they're complex, they're silly, there's tons of multiverses. Like, if you look up Marvel and DC universes, there's I don't remember top of the heads. There's over 5 for each. I think DC is 5, and Marvel's
DC's is
over
insane.
10.
Oh, there's tons.
And yeah, it's mad. And this really, really streamlined it well, I feel. And I mean, I appreciate that everyone knows the story of who Peter Parker is and all that. And it was nice to give Spider-Gwen the because she is, out of all the superheroes I follow, Spider-Gwen's probably my favorite, just because her comic's unique. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Again, I've spoken about this way too much. I mean, I saw Vice yesterday, but I have little to say about that because it didn't do much for me. But yeah, get about movies. Listen to that. It's hard. I've spoken about this film so many fucking times now. It's really good. I mean, hopefully this is one of those animated films that will break the mold of animated films, if you know what I mean. So, for example, when I watched some Ghibli films over Christmas, I mentioned to one of my family members that, hey, Spirited Away did well, it won an Oscar. And he said, for what, best animated? And I went, yeah. Then he just laughed, because animation is seen as a joke to many people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb, but
I think
whether that's Western or Eastern animation.
So you're right. It does take movies like this to break that mold a little bit. We've talked a little bit about this in the Band of Gamers Discord channel and stuff, and I'm like, you got to go see it. It's a really good movie, and I think it's one that if you're a parent, you're not just going to be sat there with your kids going, "Oh, great, we've got to see this. I've got to sit through this for an hour and a half or whatever." It's genuinely, it's a fun time. It's really well done, I think.
Fucking same here, man. I mean, it's my favorite film of last year, and I saw a lot of good films last year.
I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm seeing it on Sunday this weekend coming, so
it was weird.
Long time coming.
It was weird. The press screening was in 3D, and that was the first 3D film I've seen in over near 10 years. It was just weird. I forgot how pointless 3D is for films.
Yeah. Did it shine in 3D though? Because it's a very visually popping, isn't it? You could imagine that stuff jumping out at you in 3D. Did it work?
I mean, you would think so, but I mean, 3D doesn't do it for me, so it didn't work for me really. But whatever. I don't know why. I think maybe because it was a press screening, and I'm not press anymore, but I have a limitless pass, and since I paid enough money, you're treated as press. It's weird how that works, isn't it? Pay enough money, you can do whatever you want. It was good though. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love this film. But just see it in 2D, I guess. Save your £2 or whatever. It's not that special. But if not, get the Blu-ray when it comes out, because it's worth a rewatch. I'd say it's rare I rewatch films, but I'd probably rewatch this just for the visuals alone. I mean, the climax is just beautifully done in terms of animation. And it's in flipping was it Flash? It was in a version of Flash. That's all I know. Anyway, that was me. Good film. Sorry, rambled.
No, that's fine.
Hopefully, I never speak about this fucking film again. I love it, but god damn it.
Until next show when Katie lets you know what
Yeah.
she thinks of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Round 5.
To be fair, I won't probably go into too much detail. Just be like my personal thoughts of it, which I think I already know I'm going to enjoy it because I don't know. There's just something about it where I've just looked at it and I'm like, I know I'm going to love it already. So, and I'm going to be seeing it with 2 friends who are just like just as into like Marvel and Spider-Man like as much as me. So it's going to be watching it with just like giddy, excited faces all throughout. Hopefully.
Yeah. But you've not actually watched anything this time around, Katie?
I
Or
haven't.
Last time?
I was going to talk about just briefly about 2 trailers I watched. I know Pete hasn't got any footage or anything, but it was only going to be like very brief. So if I could, yeah,
Go for it.
Yes.
There you go.
go for it, yeah.
Don't worry
Okay,
about Pete.
so,
We're just doing a normal show, so you rock on.
So, so 2 trailers have dropped this week. One of them today, and one I think was yesterday. And I'm going to talk about the one that dropped yesterday, and that is the trailer for the final season of Game of Thrones. Ooh, so much hope. Obviously, I'm not going to go into detail on what actually what happened in the It was a teaser rather than a trailer, but I'm not going to say what happened in the teaser because that would just be too long. But I just cannot wait. It set the tone very well. It just basically, yeah, it set the tone very well. It's building up what's been coming for a long time in terms of what's been going on in the show, and it's just fucking awesome. I can't wait for it. I just wanted to say that quickly. And then what dropped today was the trailer for Spider-Man: Far From Home, the sequel to Spider-Man: Homecoming, and that has filled me with so much excitement. I mean, I think I can talk about it, right? I mean, it is a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, go for it.
Basically, they are introducing, I think, what was the best thing about the trailer for me wasn't even like Spider-Man. It was the villain, which is being played by Jake Gyllenhaal, which is surprising me a lot because Jake Gyllenhaal, he looks good. He's playing Mysterio, who is probably one of my favorite villains from the 19 animated series cartoon. My favorite being Scorpion, which he featured in the end of Homecoming, which I hope at some point will come into action, like properly. But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I feel like when I think of Jake Gyllenhaal, I just don't picture him as being in a superhero film, that kind of genre. But for the looks of the trailer, if you haven't seen it, by the way, please go watch it because it is all sorts of awesome, and he looks freaking fantastic in his suit. The bowl on his head that is Mysterio's head. Obviously, is like it just looks so good, and he looks like he's going to be a good villain. I hope he'll live down to it. Hope he'll live down to it. Hope he'll live up to it because the villain in the first film of Michael Keaton as Vulture, that he was really good as well. So yeah, just wanted to briefly talk about both those trailers because they've both filled me with such excitement. I mean, there's so many good things coming out this year, in terms of films and TV. So just makes me excited that like TV and film is so epic this year. So many good things to come.
What are you looking forward to?
In terms of TV, there's Walking Dead, there's Game of Thrones. I think it's 2019. The series I started watching called Nightfall, the 2nd season comes back this year, which is Mark Hamill in it, which is really exciting me. And you obviously got Star Wars Episode 9 at the end of this year.
Yeah.
You have Avengers Endgame. You have Captain Marvel. You have Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse. Well, I'm going to see Into the Spider-Verse, but that came out last year. And you have Spider-Man. So there is so much awesome stuff coming out. Like
Sneaky Pete, yeah, Sneaky Pete 2. I'd like to see that. Oh, is it season 2 or season 3? I can't remember how many seasons I've watched. Yeah, it's class. If you've not seen it,
That's
check
on
it out.
Prime, isn't it? That's on Prime, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, Sneaky Pete.
Nice.
yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about those 2 trailers I watched because pretty excited for both those things. Game of Thrones, I'm a little bit more. It's excitement, but it's also it's a sad feeling coming with it because it's the final season. But then there has been, it's been confirmed that there's going to be a prequel, like a prequel, like / spin-off, which has already been, like the pilot, I think, is already done or being filmed. I don't know, but so there will be more Game of Thrones, like in our lives at some point. But it's sad that like this particular part of it is ending. But because it's such a fantastic show, if you haven't. Well, to be fair, now that it's finishing, it's the perfect time to catch up because that means there's no more coming. 8 seasons. It's pretty good, pretty deep, pretty easy to catch up on.
Yeah, I think they said that if you started watching it an episode a day, I think if you started watching yesterday, then if you watch an episode a day, but you'd be ready by the time by April 14th, which is I think when the last season starts. So yeah, get binging.
Yeah. So Pete and I have accidentally watched and played the exact same things. So what we're going to be talking about is something on Netflix called You. How far are you in, Pete?
I've watched it all.
Okay, Pete's watched it all. I've watched the first two.
Oh, okay.
So, well, as you've watched it, Pete, I'll let you sort of describe what it is.
Well,
you're a bit further than me.
It's about this bookstore manager. He's a really, really intelligent guy. I think it's played by Greg Berlanti. His name is. So he basically uses his intelligence and his sneaky skills with the help of the internet and social media to make the woman of his dreams fall in love with him. Now, this is pretty scary when you watch it because this guy just he uses social media so much to find out all of these things about this one woman that he's just completely fascinated about, and he turns it up to another level. I mean, I'll put it onto the Twitch channel now. I'm playing the trailer, and you'll see there's brutality, there's deceit. It's quite gripping. Both Shell and I loved it, and I don't want to. I just don't want to let any spoilers out. So I think Kyle, if you carry on and say, look, and maybe a few things about it, what you think, but I think it's gripping.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect. It was one of these Netflix things that just appeared. What ended up watching the trailer, as you say, which is on the stream. And I said, Sam, do you fancy giving this a go? And yeah, we were sort of hooked part of the way through. As you say, just how clever this bloke is and how he ended up meeting this girl in the shop. And then a little bit later, after like hours and hours of like basically stalking her in real life and through social networking, they bumped into each other again, and it was almost like she was doing something like a favor for him rather than him spying on her, and she completely misses the plot. And as you say, there's brutality. He doesn't like her friends. He doesn't think they're good for her, so he tries to remove them in particular ways. Obviously, there's a lot that I haven't seen yet. There's one particular thing that's happened in the first couple of episodes, and it's fairly twisted. But as you say, it is also fairly concerning because about having open profiles and stuff like that, and working out where people. Well, he reckons that she actually wants to be watched, because none of her profiles are locked in anyway, and I look forward to carrying this on. A few other things have sort of popped up, including a game I should be talking about in a little while. But we'll definitely be going back to this. How many episodes were there, Pete? Do you remember?
I don't know whether it's 8 or 10.
Right.
I can't remember now, but we just binge watched it in 2 days. It just got us that bad. But it is scary how people can check your accounts out if they are public and how much they can find out, especially when you've got someone like the woman in this TV series. She posts pretty much all of her life on social media in different ways through. I think she used Facebook and I don't know whether it's Twitter or Instagram or something like that. But this guy discovered knew so much about this woman all through just those things, and he ended up befriending her in is it episode 2 or 3? He does actually end up speaking to her. I don't want to spoil it, but
I think it's 2 that he had an accident of some sort, and
and he starts using the information that he already knows to manipulate the conversations, and it's done so well. He's a scary guy, man.
Very scary.
Yeah,
but, I definitely will be going back to that. Definitely worth a watch. But I think that's about it for you for now on Netflix. I don't think you got anything else, have you, Pete?
No.
Okay, well, I've watched one other thing that I'll quickly mention now before we move on. Again on Netflix, and it's called Sunderland Till I Die.
Oh, I think I've heard of this.
Skipped past that loads of times.
Yeah, I've got it on my list, man.
yeah, I won't talk about it in too much because I know that we want to. Well, I want to carry on for various reasons. But yeah, basically, it's the story of. Like, it's not a spoiler because I mean everyone knows the story, but they just take it into a little bit more detail. But it's the story of Sunderland Football Club being relegated bottom of the league, 2 seasons running. So they fall from the Premiership and into the Championship, then from there into League One in 2 seasons, finishing rock bottom of leagues both times. And it's just it's just the tale of what happened behind the scenes, the unrest, the lack of money, or the fact that the owner didn't want to put any more money in, and yeah, just how difficult it is to try and get as they say, a big club like Sunderland. Well, it's just unheard of, like for them to fall that way. You'd think one of the weaker teams in the Premier League should compete pretty well in the Championship, but as I say, some unrest, particular player, uh, basically slagging off the team and the board, which got out, which upset people. Then they had no money to get players in, and it all just went wrong. Um, but it's not. I mean, even Sam's watching this. Sam's not a big football fan, but she's actually finding it interesting to find out what goes on behind the scenes at a football club and just to see what it means to the fans. It's not just the fact that they kick a ball around; it's the training that they put in, and yeah, they had made some very weird decisions along the way. I think I'm about halfway through. Another thing that it's only about 35, 40 minutes each episode. I
Yeah.
think, and yeah, it's well worth a watch. I take it you might be interested in this, Carl.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad you brought it up, mate. A friend of mine, Dave Yellowbug on Twitter, he's a Sunderland fan, and we've had similar misfortune, in the past few years with both getting relegated from the Premier League. And I'm interested in watching this because it could so easily have been Aston Villa. Had we not been bought out, this summer, we could quite easily have gone into oblivion, really, and got relegated down from the Championship again. And I think one of the things about Steve Bruce, people got on his back, but I think had he not come in, we could well have slipped out of the Championship and into League One. And it's horrible, when you see the passion that people have for their football clubs, and the amount of love that they have. And it's just super, super heartbreaking for them. And I said to Dave, I was like, is it worth watching? He's like, yeah, it's tough watch for me, but he said it's definitely worth watching. It's good, very informative. And like you say, it does give you that glimpse behind the scenes. So I'll definitely be watching that.
Yeah. Did you see? I think it might have been at Newcastle under 21s or something the other day. We were playing Sunderland.
Yeah.
Did you hear the chant that they were chanting at the Sunderland team?
Yes.
It was basically something along the lines of "We saw you cry on Netflix," which
yeah, it was,
yeah, just that's football fans for you.
Brutal.
Yeah,
brutal.
But yeah, definitely give it a watch. I say you don't even have to be too interested in football. It's not particularly football heavy. They sort of run through the key games and show like the league table and what happened and when enough was enough for managers and this and the other. But yeah, the story is ultimately back-to-back relegations. And yeah, I imagine they're talking, they will move on to talking about how they want to rectify it, but I'm not quite at that point yet.
Yeah. I mean, I went to watch this, mate, and I literally went to watch the first episode, and I noticed there was something new that had been added to Netflix, which stopped me watching it, I'll talk about on the next show. But I'll just say Titans is on Netflix. If anyone like the new Teen Titans as kids, if you're as old as I am, those comic books with Robin and Raven, Starfire, all that, Beast Boy, and might be it's definitely. I've watched one episode and it's wicked.
Awesome. I don't suppose you've seen the Man City one either, have you?
No, not yet.
Well, the Man City one apparently is just look how good we are, which doesn't particularly interest me. Whereas being a Watford fan, I mean, we've become very close to relegation. We've got promoted and relegated from the Premier League, like following season twice. This is the longest stint we've had, and things are on the up. It could quite easily have been us too. So I find it much more interesting from the negative point of view about actually what goes on behind the scenes. But yeah. Okay, well, I think that'll do for our TV film section. So let's move straight on to video games. And I'll just start with a couple of silly bits of news, really. The first one, it just popped up on one of my social networking things earlier today that apparently the Grand Tour video game is now available.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
It's the game that no one asked for, and I don't know anything about it, but I just thought it'd be amusing to throw it in.
Do you play as Jeremy Clarkson, just going around hitting producers?
That would probably be quite a good game. I don't know. I might well check this out, but I'm not holding my breath at all. I imagine this will be terrible. And the only other bit of news I dragged in is that from today, I think it was, that Rocket League will be able to be cross-played finally from Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and PC. So no excuses.
People ask why I still play this game in 2019. I mean, come on, man. This fucking game's sick.
Well,
and it's doing shit like this.
It is. It is.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's very positive. Even Carl and I played a game of Rocket League the other day. Alexander started to get back into it, and I got the bug again for a bit of Rocket League. So why not? We shall probably play some Rocket League in the near future. But Antonio, I suppose this is you're going to talk about something I'm very curious about, and I've got a couple of questions because I'm new to it. I don't know anything about it, and I've been told by someone that I shouldn't jump in at this point, but I'd be curious to find out what your views on that are.
So what he's alluding to is the Resident Evil 2 demo, the one-shot demo, which ironically I played twice on 2 different platforms. I played on Xbox One and PC. Just the reason I played on PC as well to see how good the port would be, because Resident Evil 7's port was really good, so I was really curious what it would be like. And it's a great port, but more importantly, I love it. Now, let me go back and say my history of Resident Evil. I've played every single main game. So I believe I am educated enough to comment on this with a good bit of knowledge and certainty. Because I love survival horror, and Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is shit, and 7 is amazing. And 0 is good as well. Hell, I even love the light gun spin-off games on the Wii. I'm a big fucking fan of this franchise, even though it's really dumb. I mean, it's really dumb. It's really, really dumb. So it's kind of nice to have a grounded Resident Evil with... No, that's not even true. Resident Evil 7 wasn't grounded. But this one is more grounded because it's literally just zombies and some lickers and some other people. But if you're entering this expecting the Resident Evil 1 remake, which is basically Resident Evil 1 with a new coat of paint, a very nice coat of paint, some new voice acting and such, you're not going to get that. This is more like Resident Evil 4, the over-the-shoulder aspect, but it's less action-y per se. Everything has more weight. The zombies aren't just one shot in the head and a kick and they're dead. It's basically, it's a weird way to say it, but it's more dangerous. Leon is much weaker. Bullets do very little damage, even if you aim for the head. Zombies are bullet sponges per se. You can rip them apart with your bullets, and the gore is amazing. The graphics are amazing. It runs at 60 FPS on Xbox One X and PS4 Pro and PC, not on the main consoles. Sadly.
I was gonna say I thought it was Leon from
it's Resident Evil 2. So Leon and Claire. And if you play the demo, you'll see that Hunk and the Tofu Soldier are back. So if you don't know what that means and you're a bit worried right now, there was a extra campaign involving Hunk, who was a soldier on the field, basically. And there's also, for a joke, there's a Tofu, who is really, really weak and only has a knife. It was basically a mode for people who think they're really good at the game, which I have played multiple times. And I think there'll be Mercenaries mode as well and such. It's literally just bringing up Resident Evil 2 to a modern format, so the third-person shooting aspect of it. And I love the atmosphere. There's a lot more in depth I've noticed with this now. At least in the demo, it alludes to more depth because you can now break up windows or board up windows, and it's making me more tactical, as if you're playing Resi 1 again. It is literally Resi 1, but I feel more accessible. A bit like how animation puts people off. I feel the camera angles of Resi 1 puts a lot of common gamers off, because you have to wrestle with the camera sometimes and the controls. And they did fix that in the later port. It's just a lot of ports, really. I mean, it's weird how many times I've said the word port in a sentence and not talked about a ship. Interesting. But anyway, I really love it personally. And it's weird. The only critiques that I've been told about are from people who played Resi 1, and they're kind of just butthurt that this is not Resi 2 again, if you know what I mean. Which, in a way, I can also almost respect, because, I think people wanted... So at least some wanted Resi 2 again, as in, just Resi 2 again with, some nice graphics. A bit like, I mean, hopefully there'd be like a little Easter egg or something for that, because I know in Resident Evil 5 there's a DLC which is set in the Resident Evil 1 manor, and if you did a little Easter egg, you could play it with the Resi 1 camera angles. So what would be kind of cute is if you could do that. I don't know. That's just wishful thinking, I think. But again, to put a little bow on it, I fucking love it. And I love it so much. If I see an Xbox One X for 300, I'm going to dip because this game looks amazing and I want to play it the best possible way. Because the PC port is really good. But my PC is like, you can play it on high-ish. But, I want the best experience possible. If I can't find one for cheap, I'll just buy it on PC, to be honest. But yeah, you had questions, sir.
Yeah, do I need to have played anything before I play this? No?
No.
Okay.
It's a self-contained story. I mean, Resident Evil 2 was the introduction of Leon and Claire. So yeah, there's no backstory to it, really.
Right. And as you say, it's a very timed thing, isn't it? So will I get to grips with it pretty quickly, or will I struggle?
It's just a third-person shooter that's
Right.
a bit heavy. I mean,
Okay.
Even though Gears of War looks heavy, it's actually quite a light shooter. This is more literally boots on the ground. It's a heavy third-person shooter. If you're stuck, just lower the difficulty a bit, because I mean, not to be arrogant, but I didn't get bitten or even attacked once. So just stay away from the zombies. Don't be dumb.
Awesome. Yeah, I could probably play this on Xbox and PlayStation, so I probably will give this a go. Quite interested for some reason, even though I've never really been into it.
They picked the perfect location to show it off, the Raccoon City Police Department, because there are multiple things you can do. You can go outside and tease the zombies at the gate. You can go into the library and take on some zombies there. You can go and actually do the main mission if you want to. Encounter some lickers if you're dumb enough. Apparently you can encounter them. I don't know. I played it once, like just looking around, did the entire 30 minutes, and then on PC I sped run it in 4 minutes, just to see if I could do it.
Damn.
And that's the thing with Resident Evil games. I love that you can play it for the atmosphere for the first time, then learn where everything is, and then go for it again. Like I played Resident Evil 7 4 times, I think. Once normal, once in VR, once on Madhouse, and once on Ethan Must Die mode, which is basically one hit kill.
Right.
And I'll probably do the same Resident Evil 2 because it's a new controls game. It's Resident Evil 7's kind of shooting mechanics, but in third person. I really like that. Leon is kind of tough to maneuver at the start, and I think that makes sense because in Resident Evil 4 he was agile as fuck. He could snap to everywhere. I just really love this game, and I'm really, really excited. Super fucking excited. It's just nice to have again another AAA horror game because they're fucking rare.
When is this out?
25th of January.
All right, cool. Oh, awesome.
And if you wanted to play it, listener, you still can. The demo goes away on the 31st of January, and it's on any console. That's not the Switch.
Now, I know I had a bit of a wobble about this last week. And
a wibble wobble, if you may say.
Yeah, I've still got a wibble wobble about it. But, I mean, it looks great. I've looked at the trailer and some of the gameplay.
Is this your Red Dead to me? It looks great, but it doesn't interest me.
Well, the thing is, Antonio, I played this when I was 18 years old. So I was a spotty teenager in my bedroom with my 13-inch TV. And yeah, got my PS1 in my bedroom, pitch black. Never played many games like this before. This is like one of its kind, and you'll never ever beat that experience in my eyes. It was like the most talked about thing when I was a kid, and you can't relive that moment in my eyes. I think for me that time when I was just up in that bedroom on my own, exposed to this horror game that nobody's played yet, or really hasn't that much. I mean, there wasn't many gamers at my school. They was all into football and going out and stuff. So I went out a lot, but I still love my computer games, and this just absolutely terrified me. I can remember I was that young. I kept on kicking Mike out of the bedroom because he'd have nightmares about it. That's how young I was, and Mike was only 12 years old, I think, when this came out. I cannot relive that moment as much as I play any of the other Resident Evil games. I mean, a year later, Nemesis come out, and I thought that was great. That big, massive bloke running around shouting stars at you, and just that was the. It was all about the chase, and it was quite. That was another frightening game to me. 4 kind of dropped off a little bit for me. It was good, but I just didn't have the time to invest in it. I don't think it looked okay, but I don't know. It never gave me that scare factor and that experience like number one did with my little 13-inch Toshiba television. If I'd never be able to see that now to that resolution and that screen, it was just unreal. But you know, youngsters like you. You go back and play this, but I've relived that first initial moment of when it come out, so I'm happy to leave it at that.
Fuck that, mate. I'm playing this again. I'm playing it tons of times.
Fair play.
Oh, that shit.
Fair play.
I mean, they're different experiences, though, I'd say. Because
Possibly.
Resident Evil 2, the original, I would personally say it's a tougher game. And, much tougher game.
Yeah, it
due
would
to the
be.
tank controls
Yeah.
and the game actively wanting you to die. And this is very much just trying to streamline it. Because Resident Evil 7 was streamlined survival horror, I would say. It's quite a basic survival horror. And this is kind of basic as well. So yeah, it's just kind of streamlining a game that I think, if Resident Evil 2 is in 1998, Resident Evil 2 was released today, I don't think it'd sell as well as this game would sell. And again, I think that is down to the camera angle, the tank controls and such and such.
Yeah, but at the same time, you didn't have all of that in that year, and it was you got what was handed to you on that disc, and 2 discs, wasn't it? I think I've still got it somewhere upstairs. I've still got Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 on disc, but I don't think I'll touch it. It does look good. I can't take that away from you. It does look great, but I don't know. Plenty of other games to play.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough.
Yeah. So, Katie, what about yourself?
Well, I've been I went on a nostalgia trip, had a nostalgia fix, and I started playing what I got for Christmas, which was Spyro the Reignited Trilogy. And so far, so good. I mean, I've only played through, I would say about 4 different worlds in the first game, but it's a pretty solid, beautiful looking remastered package, I would say. It just looks really pretty. I mean, Spyro was always a colourful game, I think, even way back when it first came out, but obviously now even more so with the updated graphics and everything. And it plays exactly like the original. I mean, there was at one point where I can't remember the name of the world I went into, but it was in the first world in the first Spyro game I'm talking about. But I think it's this one that you're showing on the stream right now.
Stone Hill.
Yeah, I think if it is, it's one where basically you've just got to get loads of different things in a certain amount of time. It's 25 seconds. No, it's not. Okay, it's not. Yeah, you have to get a certain amount of things in a certain amount of time. And yesterday, that was kind of triggering me a little bit in a good way. Because I mean, I was highly expecting to get triggered at certain parts in this game because that's what these games were like back when we were younger. You know, these were some of the hardest games of our childhood or of our younger selves, younger lives. Crash Bandicoot was balls hard and Spyro was at times as well. But in this world in particular, it was the dreaded inverted controls. The inverted controls, which is basically up to go down and down to go up. And I hated that back when I was a kid. I still hate it now. It was really doing my head in during this particular world. And basically I went into the menu to look at the control scheme, just to question or just to see if I could turn off the inverted controls, if that was even a thing. Because for some reason I did think that would be a thing, because obviously inverted controls aren't really nearly in any games at all nowadays. But I guess they wanted to keep that in to make it feel even more like the original. But no, when I looked, you can actually switch the control scheme. You can have the reignited control scheme, which is obviously the control scheme for this remastered package, or you can switch it back to the original control scheme, which, to be fair, there's not much difference. I mean, it's probably one button is, I don't know, the R1 button is roll in the original, whereas now R2 is roll in the remastered trilogy. Something like that. It's not much of a change at all. One of the best things I remembered about Spyro was the music. The music is probably one of my favorite soundtracks back when I was a kid. All 3 games, to be fair, had great soundtracks, but the first game had the music stuck out the most to me. And what I do really like about this remastered package is that you can keep the music, like you can have the remastered music track going on, or you can switch it back to the original music back from 1998, which it's there is a big difference there. There is a big difference there, but I'm sticking with the original music. I've swapped it back to the original music from the old game, and it's such a nostalgia fix. It is so it's just so much fun. I mean, it's just as much fun as I remembered back when I was a kid. Spyro was I would say PlayStation 1 was probably the first proper console I had, I think, if I'm remembering right. N64 was probably a close second. But Spyro, I remember Spyro a lot from when I was a kid. Like, that was my first proper game. I think I played and actually played well, rather than just, when I've spoken about Final Fantasy VII in the past on this show, I think I only went through like that first section in Final Fantasy VII where you're like in a train station or something and you fight like a bunch of ninjas or something. And I just like did that loads and loads of times, like again and again and again, because I just couldn't find out where to go after that. Whereas Spyro, it's like, okay, I go here, I do this, I go back, I go to this world, I do this. It was a game where I actually knew what I was doing and could continue the story until I actually finished it. So it's such a good remastered package. It is a pretty decent one. And my favorite Spyro game is 2. Ripto's Rage. That is my favorite one, and so I'm really looking forward to getting back into that. But yeah, it is so good. It's such a good game, such a good remastered package. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. So have any of you guys considered picking it up, or have you got it?
I got it at launch. I played it for a couple hours, and it's just been sitting there since.
I can understand it, because it's like, as you were just talking about Resident Evil 2, it's something like, I know you're going to be playing Resident Evil 2, but it's that kind of same argument, I guess you could say, or debate, that it's like, it's something you have played before. So you've got new games to play.
I would counter with Resident Evil 2 is that it's a very different experience. Resident Evil 2 was a polygonal, choppy mess that was kind of creepy, I guess. This is a fucking lovely looking game, which is also a third-person shooter. But the thing is, I had a theory when I stopped playing it. I said to a mate, I did the exact same with Crash Bandicoot when it came out on the PS4. I left it for about a year, came back, and then got platinum on Crash 3 in a week. Yeah. I just don't think I was in the right mindset at the time, because I was getting a bit annoyed. I just don't think I was in the right mood for a platformer, to be honest. So cut back. So wait 6 to 12 months on another Entertainers podcast. You might hear Spyro again.
But it is pretty sweet. Sorry, Carl.
I was just going to say I never played Spyro, so I did pick it up. I haven't played it yet. It's sat there.
What was your platforming game back on the PlayStation 1? Because it's always a choice between. For me personally, it was always like Spyro, Crash. Then there's Croc, which was like the third wheel, which kind of got left behind, but I still fucking love Croc. And then people told me about Gex, which I have not played Gex, and there was also like Evil and
Gex. Jesus. I don't know, because even though I had the original PlayStation, I tended to play more races, fighting games, that kind of thing on it. I didn't play an awful lot of platformers on there. So I played a little bit of Crash, but never really got into it. Wasn't my thing. Spyro looked nice, but I think at that point I was probably a little bit too at the wrong point, maybe a little bit too old for it, not like going to jump in and play through that. And obviously, as I get older, I probably got younger mentally. So yeah, it's been one of them that I wanted to pick up and just have there and play through it at some point. And I will get through it at some point, because it does. This remake is gorgeous. I did play the EGX, had a little play then, and loved where I played. So yeah, I'll try and jump into a couple of your streams, mate, and just have a little look.
But there's certain things that the developers have added in there that are from the original, and they've added in cheat codes, which obviously, and they've added in like the same functions how you did a cheat code back all the way back when. And basically, someone came into the stream last night when I was playing it, and basically was making the rounds, going, "Hey, here's a cheat code for Spyro to," I think it was like Spyro to change color or something like that. And then they've added in a new one, which is you can give Spyro sunglasses throughout the game, which is pretty cool. It's just a cool little thing that I'm surprised they've actually left in there. But
cool.
Staying more true, I guess, to the original, and the fact that that was like one of the things that lots of people tried to do when they finished the game. They were like, right, let's see if we can find cheat codes, and just bashed all the buttons to see what they could do. So that's pretty cool. And then something else something little that really got to me and really kind of made me smile was like, if you're standing still at Spyro, like basically when I was just talking to chat and I wasn't moving, there'll be certain little things that Spyro will do, and Sparks, the dragonfly that follows him around, will do. Like at some point, Spyro will just sneeze fire, and like as you're just sitting there, and then at one point, Sparks, the dragonfly, will, if you're just standing there for too long, will fly to the camera and knock on it like a fourth wall effect and wave at you. It's just cool little things like that which made me really smile. But it is a good remastered package, and I just can't wait to get into it. Keep playing more of it.
Like you say, these games are difficult, aren't they? I brought the Crash trilogy for my son on the Switch, and I thought he'd be fine with that. And it just, like, after 5 minutes, he was like, "Dad, I can't do this." And then I had a go, and I was like, "Leo, I can't do this neither." And we ain't played
They're
it
rolling up
since.
your sleeves. Let me show you, son. Oh.
We ain't played it since, so I've just blown 30 quid on just a complete waste of time. But they're unforgiving, aren't they?
I will admit, Crash is. I do prefer Spyro over Crash in the sense that it's a bit more forgiving, whereas Crash is basic. I feel like Spyro has a bit more of a story and stuff like that, whereas Crash I felt was like these certain different worlds. But it did feel very similar, but it was still like I'm not taking that away from how good it was when I was a kid. But yeah, Spyro, I think Crash was balls hard. Like I haven't got the Insane trilogy, but I know when I get that, there's going to be a lot of ragey moments.
It depends which one you play, to be honest. Because Crash 1 is the hardest because it's the most basic. So it all depends on what kind of platform you like. I only played Crash 3 properly because 2 is fine for me. I was never a big fan of 1. 3 is my baby. I love 3. That's why I got bloody platinum on it. And like I said, I'll probably go back to this in like 6 to 12 months, just when I'm in the mood for a platformer. But speaking of Crash, the fucking racing game comes out again in June. Except for that,
Crash Tag Team Racing.
that's just a facelift. That's just a facelift. That's not Resident Evil fucking 2. That's just a facelift. I don't care. I'll play that fucking thing 4 times on a Vita. I don't care.
It's not a turd polish.
How dare? How dare?
Oh, sorry.
But no, if you're looking for a trip
ever
down,
at
if you're
me.
looking for a trip down memory lane, and you were a fan of Spyro, I would definitely recommend picking this up.
Yeah, I'll pick it up at some point. I'm trying to be good and not spend money on games for a little while, so we'll see how that goes. Although I did buy a memory card for the Switch, but I needed that because I can't install Diablo.
Oh, you got Diablo on Switch
this entire time.
Yeah, pardon?
Crap.
What's that?
Have you not had a memory card in your Switch this entire time?
No.
Oh my goodness, you got a good mileage out of that. Fucking hell.
Yeah. No, I finally bought one. Even one of the ones that are Switch branded.
Ooh.
So they got a little picture of a mushroom.
Much was it? How much?
I think it's 128 gig, and it was 30 quid. I didn't think it was too bad. I've been watching. Consider it. I know you can get them cheaper if it's not got the little Switch logo on it, but say it's got the little mushroom from Mario on it, which I thought was cute. So I ordered that today. It should turn up by the end of the week. So Carl, why don't you tell us about this game? I personally have no idea what this is.
I know. I'm interested to hear it.
This is the cat game, isn't it?
It is. We do a segment on ABOG called E-Penis, so we try and get cheap and cheesy platinum trophies. And so every now and again I go through the store and I'm like, see what's on there. And I've got this game called Cat Quest, which is quite an easy platinum. It just takes probably 12 hours or so. But I love my RPGs, and this is a cute as hell little action RPG. And I think it came out in 2017, something like that. So it's quite old now. But it's on the store for $5 at the moment, and basically the aim of the game is to defeat the dragons. Free your sister from the clutches of the evil kitties. And I must admit, when I picked it up, and I was like, yeah, I'll do some of that. And at the minute I booted it up, and it's just so cute. And there's no voice actor or anything like that, but there is little sound effects. So like every time the cats talk, is like, wow, and it's just little cute things like that. And yeah, it's colourful, it's fun, it's a bit grindy, obviously, like most RPGs, but the combat's actually quite cool, and it does keep you coming back for more. I think I played it non-stop for the past 3 or 4 days, pretty much. So I think I'm almost level 50 out of 99 levels, and I've only defeated one dragon. So I'm grinding my way through, doing all the side quests and collecting lots of different armor and things for the cat. So it's quite funny. It's a very very, very fun game. Just brings a smile to your face. I think it's on like PS4, Xbox, Switch. I think it's on mobiles as well. It's probably on iOS and stuff. So yeah, good, nice little fun game. It's cheap at the minute if you do fancy like an easily accessible, cute RPG.
Nice. I'm just watching on the stream. It does look very cute and pretty.
It
It's
does,
very
yeah,
cute
it
too.
does.
Yeah.
What are you playing
got
this
it.
on, Carl? I missed this. I missed what you
I'm
said.
playing it on PS4.
PS4, okay.
So yeah, you can get the platinum for it in about somewhere between 10 and 12 hours, depending if you grind a little bit. So yeah, we're talking about this on our next show. But I thought it was cute and fun to share. I think it's on sale till the 18th. So if people do want to pick it up on the PlayStation Network, then yeah, by all means, jump in.
Grind with the cat.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So Pete, again, we're going to talk about Detroit Become Human,
We are.
which you may remember was Katie's game of the year.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Has it appeared? Has it appeared on yours now, or what?
If I had played it, I haven't played it to completion. I don't know. I must be. I don't know how many chapters there are. But I must be. I don't know, over halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way, something like that. So anyway, I have had this for weeks. I picked it up in a sale on disc long before Christmas, probably around Black Friday maybe, and yeah, it's just been sitting there in the cellophane waiting to go. Anyway, I had the day off work yesterday, so I went off, played golf first thing, came home lunchtime, thought I've got all the time in the world. I'm going to play Detroit, and it's like Heavy Rain, I suppose. Which would make sense because David Cage. So what that basically means is I couldn't get the grips with the controls straight away because I did put it on casual. I didn't put it on normal or whatever the other mode was. I just want to enjoy the story, and I'm not overly familiar with the PlayStation controller. I do have to think about which buttons I'm pressing,
Yeah.
and I seem to recall that in Heavy Rain caught me out a few times because I'm just not as quick with the PlayStation controller as I am with the Xbox. So yeah, story mode all the way. And yeah, so the left stick is purely for moving around, and the right one is for sort of interacting with things, which yeah throws you for a little while because you expect that to move the camera around, which it doesn't. You have to press R1, and then the camera sort of snaps the opposite way of what you think you're going to do, and it still doesn't make it very helpful. But that doesn't take away from the actual story. As I don't want to go into too much of the story because Katie covered it pretty well, say game of the year and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's about androids. So basically every sort of human family or every human seems to have an android to sort of make their life easier. And this game is telling a story of 3 androids in particular that I've now hit a point where the stories are starting to cross. As I say, it's got multiple chapters. Chapters range probably from 10 minutes to 20-ish minutes.
Yeah.
But yesterday I ploughed through, as I say, had all the time in the world, and then before I knew it, Sam was coming in. I'd been playing it for about 5 hours, and it was all dark outside, and the only light in the room was the TV screen. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself with this game. So much so that I'm desperate to get back on it. I went back on last night, and I said to Sam, she said, I'm going to watch something on my phone. I said, no, give this game a go. You like these games where you can interact, because I get Sam to make the decisions as well. And yeah, she was hooked as well. So unfortunately, I had to try and fill in the gaps of the story, which I think I did a pretty bad job. So maybe we'll go back at some point and start it again so she can actually see what's going on. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this game. I seem to remember with Heavy Rain, it took me a little while to get used to it. But as I only completed that last year, maybe that's why this has come a little bit easier to me. I know you said, Pete, that you found some of the storylines a little bit predictable so far.
Yeah, you could just see where they were going. You can see that playing as Cara, she's moved into a family that where the father's really abusive to the daughter, and he's on drugs. So you can see that. Well, before that, Marcus? I think gets knocked over with the art box in the street, and he gets beat up a bit. Is that Marcus?
Yeah, that's Marcus.
Yeah. So you can see that there's a lot of prejudice against these androids, and this guy has already smashed his previous android, so you know that there's going to be some kind of battle coming up. And when it did. Do you know what? That story for me. I was uncomfortable playing that, and I don't know.
Filled you with such, and because that's sorry, I to interrupt you, but that's
Go
the
on.
good thing about this game. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because if you fail, then you really worry about what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause it just fills you with such dread or sorry, not dread, but anxiety.
It fills you
and
with
tension.
there's a whole lot of emotion going on because you really feel for the androids. I think because of the prejudice against them. Then there was the daughter that was being hit by her father, and you've got to intervene, or you don't have to. But it's like Kyle said. I'm not there with the controls yet, and when I was in that story, I ended up having a fight with that guy. And do you think I could work out where Circle and X was? Could I, balls? It was.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a nightmare, and I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna get killed. The girl's gonna get killed. Everything's just gonna go wrong, and I was gonna cry. I streamed it. I did stream it, and I've put it onto our YouTube channel, which is Entertainerds podcast. Whoop! So I've put a second recorded on, even though the audio is a little bit funny, but I've stuck a noise gate now on my streaming software, so it should have healed that. But yeah, I was playing this story, and you could see my face on there. I was uncomfortable. I was scared at some point about what was going to happen, and then it kind of went well for me. So as you can see on the Twitch stream now, you get this map when you've completed the level of all the different directions and choices you've took, and all the other options that were available as well. And there's a lot there.
There's so many.
Yeah, you can
So
you can go back, and I will. Do you know what? I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play this game with Shell, and then I'm going to play it with the daughter Kira, and maybe my daughter Madeline. And I just want to play it and just explore all these different options. And I know my daughter Madeline loved this, so yeah, I'm going to keep on playing it. I think I'll just have to make a little folder on YouTube with like loads and loads of Detroit. But yeah, it's really exceeded my expectation for it, and I'm glad that that it was bought for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Have you had the occasions where you're thinking you're doing the right thing, and then all of a sudden it's all gone wrong, and you think, oh, how could I have done that differently? And then say you want to go back and play it again.
Yeah, but you've not got much time to do that. I think you haven't got much time to make the choices neither. I'm a bit of a thinker when it comes to choices, and I like to weigh up all the options, and I try and think of. I have all these conversations in my head that in real life. I'm not talking computer games. I'm just thinking when somebody asks me something, or when somebody's putting something to me at work, and I'll try and think of all the different options and outcomes this decision that I've got to make will cause. It's a little bit like this, and I suppose the effects on this game are catastrophic. Where as work, I still like to analyse what people have asked me and take my time and think of all the different outcomes, and I'll try and go with my gut then. And I just feel like I haven't got enough time to make a decision, but at the same time, I like how on the ball you've got to be, and how I suppose I wouldn't say anxious. I don't know. It gives you that feel of like, oh shit, I've got to really get on and make a decision, and I'm scared of what's going to happen. I don't know. I just love this game. It's ace. It is really really cool. So, Katie, I think I'm with you all the way on this. It probably would have gone up my list more if I'd have played more, but at least it made it, and I think it deserves to have made it onto the top 5.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I shall carry on with it. And I just want to say as well, it looks awesome. I am running on a PS4 Pro. Even Sam commented on how good it looks, how well it's animated, and all the rest of it. So yeah. I look forward to playing more, as I say, and finishing it. I probably would have got it. Well, I will have got it finished by next episode. So
maybe we could do a spoiler cast once Pete finishes.
Sure.
Could
Yeah.
actually go into details of what we do, if that's a thing we could do down the line. It may not, but you never know. So
yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah. The only other game I've been playing is Pokemon. I jest. I'm not going to talk about that. Right, let's move on to our sports section. Right, so just a little bit of an update on our Super 6. Christian Barclay is still out in the lead. He's 3 points ahead of me. He's on 288. I'm on 285. Then we've got Craig Carlin on 272. Michael Patterson is on 250. Our friend Darshan S. Lafoe is on 233. Our very own Carl is on 210. And Andy C5 and his random number generator is sitting on 189. So it's all still to play for. I've had some shocking weeks recently. Where I think there was 1 week I may have forgotten to do it because I would have scored as many points. But yeah, some very weird results, as I'm sure we'll come on to in a second in the leagues.
I forget all the time, mate.
I've forgotten once, I think. But yeah, I do enjoy the Super Six. So who wants to kick us off? Antonio, have you got anything that you want to add? I think you've got a question a little bit later, but have you got anything you want to drag in?
Nothing particular. What's the question about?
Well, the question is to do with who do you think will win? Yeah. So you can answer that now, or you can wait. It's up to you.
I mean, I will mention one thing actually. There's this there was a show last year called All In. So if you don't know how wrestling works, basically, there's WWE, which is the big thing. I know it's fake sport, but hey, it's the closest I've got. And there's basically one underneath called New Japan Pro Wrestling, and there's a bunch of independent shows. And a couple of wrestlers basically thought, let's make our own show because of a tweet saying that they wouldn't be able to do it. They did. Cut to a year later, they're being funded by a billionaire, and they're making their own promotion. And it's weird. So I fell out of love with wrestling a long time ago, and I'm starting to fall out of love with it again now because it just gets boring. Every week it's the same kind of product. And the fact that wrestlers are now going and making their own promotion kind of gets me excited again to actually enjoy professional wrestling. So I don't know. It's just that's all I could throw in, really. I mean, because I don't do any sport, I don't watch any sport. I do body combat. Is that a sport? I punch the air for an hour and a half.
That's just exercise.
There you go. I'm stuck. This is the part where I go mute for 20 minutes.
It was quite good timing though when I put some wrestling onto the stream just when he said throw, and he just picked him up and threw him right into the middle of the ring. So yeah, good timing there.
There you go. Perfect. All right. On mute. Bye.
All right, Katie. What about you? You haven't got to go into. You've probably played loads of games, so I mean, I'm only going to recap, but go for it.
I haven't really got much to say. This will literally take probably a few seconds. We're still inconsistent. We're still, we're on a win-loss kind of routine at the moment. It's basically that. We won our last game at home, and we're probably going to lose our next game. So that's all really I can say. We're still, to be fair, we're still after winning this weekend just gone. I think we must be. I think it's 4 or 3 points outside the playoffs. So it's just proves how shit this league is. Really, how shit our league is right now. It's like we're very inconsistent. Yet we're only 4 or 5 points away from that last playoff spot. So yeah, League 2 is shit, people. But hey, it's football.
They're quite entertaining, I suppose. In some ways.
It does it. It kind of it moves around quite a lot, which is good.
Yeah. Okay. Carl, what about yourself?
Villa have been typically Villa, losing games, not playing particularly well. We've had Grealish out injured for a little bit, so I think that's affected us a tad. In typical Villa fan style, a lot of people are now, having a moan. Oh, Smith should be doing better. We were quite comprehensively beaten by Wigan away, and Wigan hadn't won in about 7 games or something ridiculous. So. It's one of them. I think the problems at Villa stem further than a new manager just fixing stuff. So he needs at least a couple of years to try and sort stuff out. So in terms of, are we answering Andy's question now, or
I can't remember what it was.
Should we
now.
Come back to it. Just about who's going to win our leagues.
Oh, we'll come to that.
No worries.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we'll be looking to get into the playoffs. I think over the course of the season, we've signed a couple of players, like a new goalie, new defender. But it's one of them. I think consistency and settled squads make all the difference. And there are. If I look at that table now, and I'm like, there are at least I think 2 or 3 teams who will have a bit more. fire in their bellies and a bit more consistency than we will. So we might go through the playoffs. Who knows?
I hope so. Yeah, I always look out for Villa. We still will get this matched at some point where we can come up. It's not going to be in the FA Cup, unfortunately.
No, mate.
Yeah. So, as far as Watford's concerned, as they've been to a lot of games, we've not been on a bad stretch really. We lost to Chelsea on Boxing Day. Other than that, basically winning or drawing. So I won't go into all the details because there's been so many games. Christmas is a busy time. We are into the fourth round of the FA Cup. We knocked out Woking 2-0. I watched it on a stream. It was a shocking match. But we did make 11 changes. So yeah, we're progressing. We're waiting to find out who we're going to play. The game is actually being played tonight, the replay. It's either going to be away to Blackburn or Newcastle. I thought it was going to be Newcastle. They were 2-0 up after 20 minutes. But then by half-time, it was 2-2. And it looks like they're going to go to penalties or extra time or whatever it is they do. So it could be anyone, or either of them, I suppose. But just very quickly before we move on, just need to read you the top 7 of the Premier League. So we have Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, and Watford, which just seems ridiculous. I did also notice, I don't know whether you guys have seen, you probably have, the hashtag 10-year challenge. So people were taking pictures of themselves, present day and 10 years ago, and just, I don't know what the point of it is. But yeah, just comparing. So someone's decided to do it for Watford Football Club. So 10 years ago, we were 19th in the Championship, and obviously today we're 7th in the Premier League. So it just goes to show, a bit like Sunderland earlier, just football's crazy. So Pete, you've been up and down a little bit recently with Wolves.
I don't think we've had a bad run.
No.
Yeah, it's been okay. It's been okay. The thing, I suppose, that was our biggest highlight as fans was beating Liverpool in the FA Cup third round. I didn't see that coming. I don't know who we've got yet. We might have Stoke possibly, or in it. I think it's the decider of that game anyway that we're getting. Who we get in the fourth round.
Yeah.
But
Stoke or Shrewsbury, I think.
That's right. Yeah, Shrewsbury. I was trying to think of the other one, but yeah, I mean, we suffered a loss to.
That was that.
Okay.
I think that was Antonio suffering a loss.
For some, it was me watching football. No, for some reason my audio mixer swapped channels. For some reason, so my YouTube feed swapped to my mic. It's really weird. I apologize, everybody. I was watching it. I'll tell you the video just to give you into the experience. 300 IQ experiments in the Resident Evil 2 demo. So I'm deep, people. I'm deep into this Resident Evil 2 lore. Yeah, sorry, my fucking digital fucking mixer messed up. I apologize, everybody, for that.
All right, just sounded like someone polishing a turd. So Wolves so yeah, Wolves they ain't doing too bad. We got absolutely slammed, I think, by Manchester City the other day. But hardcore fans that hate the thought of losing said, "Well, we got put down to 10 men after, I don't know, was it the 9th or 19th minute?" And we scored an own goal, and we managed just to let another 2 in after that. But the way I see it, as far as fixtures go, a loss is a loss, and we suffered it, and it was a quite a big one. We ain't conceded 3 points neither. 3 goals in a while, I don't think, or 3 clear goals anyway. But it was just one of those. We're playing the big boys, and you're gonna get hurt, I think, but. Things are looking well for us. I think we'll still finish in the top half of the table. I think it'd be great to finish in the top 10, but I think we're just a little bit too far away from that at the minute.
Yeah, you need a striker, mate. You definitely need a centre forward.
Yeah, I saw someone at the back as well. It'd be probably good, but we've got a lot of money to spend. I don't. It's done well from what it was. So, I'm quite happy with where we're at the minute.
Very, very much so. Yeah. There's a lot of issues down the bottom of the Premier League. So yeah, there's no risk of going down really. It's just how high can you finish? So
Yeah.
and Watford are in exactly the same category. I mean, yeah, interesting times ahead.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, let's move on to our closing part of the show where we've got what have we got? We've got shout outs, questions, we've got emails and speak pipes.
And some zombie noises.
Yes, we did have zombie noises. Let's kick things off with a speak pipe. Although I wasn't very prepared for that.
Some zombie noises to fill the void.
Yeah, go on then. Let's have some zombie noises.
Sadly, I think I'm on a bit where there's no zombie voices. Oh no, there is definitely. There you go. You had a moan. To be fair to Capcom, a bit like Resident Evil 7, this guy's going quite in depth of like, so he did a test of can zombies trip over corpses, and he answered yes. Sorry, it's little things like this. If I love a game, I like looking at all the little tiny things. So yeah, sorry about that interruption earlier.
That's cool.
That's why you need a physical mix of people, not a fucking digital one like I have. I'm poor, I can't afford one. He says, looking at an Xbox One X.
Do it.
300 and I will.
Fair enough. What are they at the moment? I don't actually know.
I saw it do earlier for literally 303 and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But I was in a meeting, so I can fucking do it. That's all I can say. Sorry, lads. Xbox on deal. Then leave, can I? I mean, I could. I'll try that next time.
Well, you could, yeah.
I could try that. Maybe one of them's a
excuses
hardcore
go.
gamer. Who knows? Anyway, question. Sorry. That should have been enough delay for you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So our speak pipe is from Derek Sains, as I mentioned last week, and here goes.
Hello, Entertainers. It's Derek Sains back again. I thought I'd start off 2019 with a big bang, and according to YouTube, that was the sound of the big bang. And I'm starting off 2019 with the same question for yourselves, the veteran gamers and the boss wave. And over the Christmas and New Year holidays, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. One of the subjects was alternative cover versions of famous songs, where I quite often like the alternative version than the original. Secondly was alternative language versions of famous movie scenes. That's been quite amusing. But the one I've been watching the most is what I'm going to call alternative Earth history. Stuff like who built the pyramids? Was the human race start off by a race from outer space? Do we have bases on the moon? Are there aliens on the moon? That sort of thing. And it got me thinking, have you ever watched or went down the rabbit hole on YouTube or any other site where you've watched videos and thought, this subject's probably rubbish, but I'll carry on watching it anyway. And I think that's it. So I just say until next time, keep on gaming. Worst speak pipe ever.
Thanks for that.
Be careful mentioning other sites with me around, okay? So I'm going to stick it to YouTube for our family-friendly listeners out there.
Who knew that the sound of the big band was the sound of Darth Vader? Who knew?
Yeah, I know. Fucking educating me. Shall I just start since I'm probably the main YouTube guy here?
Was there like 3 questions as though, or was it just the one? I couldn't quite get that.
Just the one, I think.
Was he?
Yeah.
What YouTube rabbit hole have you gone down?
Okay.
So it's quite depressing how much I use YouTube because I don't watch TV. YouTube is my main thing for music. 10-hour zombie ASMR noises and such and such. So I average about 70 hours a week on YouTube. That includes me listening to shit in bed and everything. And recently, the biggest rabbit hole I went down is Mario coinless runs. There's this big thing right now of doing Mario games without getting any coins. And the amount of in-depth shit people have to do to avoid certain coins in Mario games really interests me. I've watched more about Mario games than I've played Mario games. I mean, I fucking love that rabbit hole, man. Yeah, that's probably my most recent rabbit hole is going down like video game challenges. Like one I watched this morning before I got up was can you beat Punch Out on the Wii without dodging? So just taking punches. And again, it's quite interesting seeing how closely these challenges mix with speedrunners. Because people have to think of weird strategies to beat a game. And I'm sure I'll have to think of some when I play Resident Evil 2. So yeah, that's my most recent rabbit hole is video game-like challenges.
I guess I'll go next. This rabbit hole started probably It started around the time The Force Awakens came out, so that was December 2015, I think, 2015. And I was looking around the internet, just like browsing YouTubes and the like, and I came across a channel called Blind Wave, which is a reaction channel, and they were doing a reaction video to The Force Awakens trailer. And for people who don't know what a reaction video is, it's basically, in terms of Blind Wave, it was five guys just watching the trailer and then giving their reaction to it, and then discussing what they liked about it and what they were excited for, etc., etc. Just having a good discussion after it. And ever since then, I've just basically that's the rabbit hole I've gone down. It's just reaction videos. It's people reacting to like some of my favorite shows, some of my favorite movie trailers, and things like that. It's just a lot of fun seeing people's different reactions to things that I've watched and how differently they react to it. And just in terms of Blind Wave, who actually is now I mod for them. They are probably one of the most popular reaction channels on YouTube, and I've actually, like that's where I go out to America for the past 2 years. I've been out there to meet them and everything and hang out with them. They're really good friends now, and so I'm really glad I dove into that rabbit hole. And the thing about Blind Wave in particular that I really enjoy, like what I enjoy about reaction channels, but obviously Blind Wave in particular, is that the fact that like they love Star Wars just as much as me. So whenever they watch something Star Wars related, they'll get really emotional about it. They know their lore about it and things like that. And it's just that's why I love reaction videos, because it's just it's interesting to see people react. As I said, people react differently, and just how seeing the excitement on their faces on the things that the thing that they're watching. It's just reaction videos pretty fun, and it's introduced me to a bunch of cool people.
Brilliant. Just quickly for me, I'm really struggling for an answer, so I'm going to sort of twist the question slightly and also sort of jump on what Katie said. But the program Gogglebox, it's a very loose fit of what you actually asked, Derek. But I always thought it was really shit. But it's actually turned into a little bit of a guilty pleasure. Because I always thought it was very fake, because if you put a camera in front of someone, they wouldn't act how they would do normally. However, there's something about it that just keeps me going back, and it's very amusing. But sorry, a bit of a cop out on my part. Anything for you, Cole?
Yeah, I think for me, and I blame Disney for this, because the trailers for Star Wars and for the Marvel stuff over the past few years has made me, I both subjects I love. I love comic books and I love Star Wars geeky shit. It's right up my alley, and I do get lost into the these channels that it's all like theories. So any kind of theories about how films are going to pan out, or deep diving into particular characters. I get lost in that shit all the time, and I'll watch one video and it'll be like, look how Luke Skywalker was the most powerful Jedi ever, and you're like, oh, okay, what's that? And then it's like, did you really know that Yoda could do this? And I'm like, oh, what's that video? And I can just stumble through those videos for hours, and it is a pain. But I enjoy that shit as well. Who knows if it's true or not, whatever. But it's kind of little videos, probably 4 or 5 minutes long each, and little fun facts and tidbits. So I definitely blame the way that the trailers are released now. Like with just like a little bit, and then people break the trailers down and theorize. But it pulls me in, man.
Fair enough. What about yourself, Pete? Anything that you can think of?
There is one thing that come to mind actually. Me and my brother was talking about it the other day. We're thinking of. I don't know whether I should say this actually, because he might be wanting to announce this somewhere else. But fuck it. We're thinking about going to talks about the Earth and the Earth being flat. We're thinking about going there and interviewing some of the people. Obviously, me and my brother think it's an absolute outrageous theory, but we want to just see what the opinions and thoughts are for some of the people that do actually believe in it, and just maybe ask them a few posing questions and see if we can, I don't know, get a few reactions. But they do run some seminars, and we're thinking about going. So that is going to be a trap, I think. It's going to suck us in. He was going to go on his own, but then he talked to me about it. I was like, no, I'm because I'm interested in astronomy and our big blue Earth. So I just thought I'll go with him. So that's it's going to be coming up soon in some video. I can see it happening. But yeah, so there you go. I can't think of anything though that I've done in the past that I've really looked into. Maybe like knockouts from Thai boxing matches and stuff like. Because I used to do kickboxing and Thai boxing before, so I suppose I get sucked into that, but not much else.
Okay, yeah, fantastic, and thank you, Derek, for your speak pipe. On to some Twitter questions. I'm going to take this comments, questions, whatever. I'm going to take this first one. So Colm from the last save loaded at Solm67 on Twitter. He is playing Fallout 76, and it's not as bad as everyone says in his opinion.
It's now £8 something on that some sites.
Whoa.
Yeah,
It's going down. It's going down.
Sorry, drinking beer there. So who wants to go with Mark's comment?
I could take it.
Yep.
So this is from Mark Wright at Marcanix, who is on the Overseas Connection, right?
Yep.
I have finished Red Dead 2 at last. Loved it. Epilogues were a great touch too. Moved on to finishing off Shadow of the Tomb Raider now. Awesome. Question: what game are you most looking forward to in 2019? You can only pick one. For me, it's between Division 2 and Anthem. So he's breaking his own rules already. Anthem tops out as new IP. So okay, I think he's really excited. Anthem. But for me, it's it's a tough one because there's a lot of good games out this year. But I'm gonna go because I was looking at this question before we got into this section, and I'm gonna go for Cyberpunk 2077. Which hopefully it won't get delayed, because I think it's a very, I want to say it's probably rare it might be out this year, because I feel like a game like that will probably get delayed. But I'm going to say Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah,
I'm going to stick with you, Mark. I think Division 2, but yeah, the other one you in your toss up. I'm going to probably pick this up day one, and hopefully we'll be able to get some people together and play it properly, because I jumped on the last Division a little bit late. But still playing with a few people and really enjoyed it. So yeah, at the moment, I'm looking forward to that.
I've got that pre-ordered, mate. Are you getting it on Xbox?
Yes.
I'm assuming, yeah, I've pre-ordered it on Xbox. So yeah, I'll be jumping on.
Cool. What about Antonio or Pete?
I'm gonna say Dying Light 2. If I could just pick one, Dying Light 2.
Oh yeah, shit. Fuck, forgot about that.
Shit and fuck.
I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna go with Cyberpunk, but holy shit, I forgot about that. Damn it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Pete?
I'm going to say Gears 5 because I'm a massive Gears fan. But
yeah, fair, Bob.
I do like the look of Val Ferris. And Gears 5. I'm going to get more out of that. Yeah, Gears 5.
Okay.
Cool.
Anyone for the next one?
Yeah, I'll take Barzanak, my buddy Dave Sodi, DB Sodi on Twitter. Far Cry 5, Zelda Breath of the Wild, almost completed all the shrines. Looking forward to The Punisher Season 2. I still need to watch the first season of The Punisher, but it's meant to be ace.
Yeah, and also 2 good games there. I need to go back and finish the end bit of Breath of the Wild. That's probably on my to-do list this year.
Still got the DLCs to play with that.
Oh, yeah, I've got them too, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll go next.
7 out of 10.
We've got Darshan. How do you say his Twitter name?
Eslafo.
Eslafo, thank you, because I didn't want to say it wrong like an idiot. If your life was ever depicted by a video game film, which game character would you play? If your life was ever depicted by a video game film, which game character would you play?
I'm really struggling with this question as well.
I'm assuming he means, like, what game would we like to live out? In terms of, like, for example, if I wanted to, like, live out the world, if I wanted to live out the world of Uncharted, I'd be Nathan Drake. I'm assuming that's the way it's asking it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm going to go for Hitman. Why not?
Hitman's a good shout, to be honest, because it's quite a fun world to be in. I don't know about you, but I love playing Hitman and just fucking about.
It's not a good feeling being bald, though.
Touche. Touche. Well, you can just dress up. It's fine.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can dress up and no one will judge you. So there you go. I need to think about that. I think about I don't know. Let's say Smash Brothers. I'll be in Smash Bros. So because everyone can beat the shit out of each other and there'll be no repercussions. Fuck it. And I could visit any game in there that I wanted to. Who would I play though? Who do I relate to the most? I'm gonna say Young Link. He's really small, but he packs a lot of punch. So yeah.
I was gonna say mine was just an example earlier, but because I was just trying to like understand the question. But my real answer would be Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. I know there's the threat of Reapers and everything coming, but you know, to be in like that, like Fires of the Future of all these different worlds and aliens and stuff, it's uncovering all these different like machines and everything. That'd be really cool. So
Garrus and Garrus.
and Garrus.
Sorry.
And Garrus. It's the best buddy or best romance ever.
Any other answers for Darshan?
I'd probably go with Geralt for The Witcher. Just be a badass, and you know, that world is so cool. Just wandering around and killing monsters, saving damsels and stuff, and you know, riding your horse around. Sounds cool.
Yeah, does sound cool.
I think I'd like to be Ken from Street Fighter. He's a good-looking bloke. He can fight like a badass. He looks pretty comfortable in his clothes. I don't know. I'll probably have to pick a different colour though. I think red would clash with my hair. So I'll probably go for purple because that goes with my colouring. And you know, there's always continues. I'm immortal, I suppose. Yeah, I'd like to live the life of Ken. Plus, I could speak another language as well. That'd be cool. Yeah.
I mean, to me, I can play the ocarina, so I win. I own an ocarina, but I need to learn how to play it. Anyway,
Right.
who's next?
I think it's me. And
Okay.
it's from Andy, known as @AndyC5. And he says, hello, and a belated Happy New Year. Been playing God of War, which is excellent. Watching, just finished all 3 seasons. Apparently they're quite short, of Travellers. Anybody else seen this?
I haven't, no.
I have not.
What's up?
Ah,
Nope.
okay. An excellent Netflix produced sci-fi time travel series. Oh, I might like this. Definitely worth a watch. My question this week is sport related. Don't worry, Antonio, you can answer it too.
Oh.
So this is about the okay, this is about the wrestling question, wasn't it? It's pretty much halfway through the season. How do you think your teams have performed so far? Who do you think will win your corresponding leagues? Let's go with the football question first then.
I guess I'll get mine out the way because no one really cares about League Two. But we're not going to win it. We're not going to win our league. We're not going to win our league. We are. I feel like at this point in the season, we're roughly where people suspected we would be, which is mid-table-ish. But we're a little bit higher than mid-table actually. But roughly around where people thought we were going to be. With how inconsistent we're being, yet we won't win the league. Who will probably win the league? Yeah, because I still think they're on a good run. Is Lincoln FC. So people like who?
Yeah, a little
no.
bit.
And then second place is MK Dons. So it's like, yeah, there you go. Interesting League Two, isn't it?
That'd be a good review. Good review noise that was, KT. I like that.
So, Carl, what do you think is going to happen in the Championship? Let's work our way up.
It's really hard to call, you know, because Leeds are at the top at the minute. I think they're 4 points clear. I really expected them to fall away, and they still might. I predicted West Brom would win that league at the beginning of the season. I think I'll stick with that. I think even though that lad's gone back, it was on loan from Leicester, I think they've still got enough depth and quality in there. So Leeds will have a blip at some point. They will drop some points. Norwich are pretty strong. God, yeah. I think I will say West Brom because that was my original pick, but they are 7 points behind Leeds. So, yeah. How would you feel about Leeds going back up to the Premier League? Everyone says everyone hates Leeds, but
Well, they are dirty Leeds, aren't they?
yeah,
It's
they
just-
are dirty. They are.
It's just their
They
fans. It's just I'm not a big fan of the fans.
are. Yeah, the fans are bad. No, yeah, no,
Let's
listen,
hope there's never any meetups up north Wow. Forget that. What, you're the entertainers. I'm going to kick a fucking shit out of you. Probably wouldn't talk in that accent, but fucking hell, they're going to
No, in my luck, they go for me, and I just say I don't know what football is.
Yeah, well, that's what we'd probably say. It was him. He said he all he knows everything about football.
Well, isn't Ropes from Leeds? Sports League?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but he's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I look at that table now, like Leeds and Sheffield United, both, both proper football clubs. No disrespect to the likes of Huddersfield and Bournemouth and and Brighton and stuff, but like, it'd be nice to have those kind of teams back up there in the Premier League, see what they can do. But yeah, West Brom.
Okay. And as far as Villa are going this season, is that where they're supposed that you reckon they would be? Are they underachieving slightly?
I don't know. The problem is I'm not like most Villa fans. I'm quite realistic. So I look at that squad that we've got, and we've got like good players. We've got some good players in there and some attacking players, but they really haven't had a proper system. They haven't had any consistency. Defence is crap. We can barely keep clean sheets. So we will finish in the top 6, I think, because we have got that depth. And Abraham is scoring goals in the Championship, so that's good for us if he stays. But he's like an Andy Cole. He needs 3 or 4 chances to put one in the back of the net, and that's why I was, no disrespect to Abraham, but I think Wolves could attract a better player than Tammy Abraham in the Premier League. I think he wouldn't score enough goals for him with the chances that they create. So, yeah, I think we might get in the top 6.
Okay, time will tell. What about yourself, Pete?
It's going to be a toss-up between Liverpool and Man City, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Liverpool are they're 9 points ahead of the game in front of Tottenham. They've stretched out a little bit there. I can't see them losing many. I think
done now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Liverpool, to be honest.
It's someone different rather than Man City. And people, I was actually having a conversation at the weekend. I feel that it's like they haven't bought the title. If you understand, like, I know Man City have got all that quality and the stuff. I wouldn't say as much as like Man City have, or Chelsea did. I feel, but they spent a lot of money on their defence.
I think most teams who win the league buy the league at some. I mean, yeah, they spent how much, 100 million quid on a centre half and a goalkeeper between the two of them, but. People had this argument way back in the day, when Man United to win the league. Man United fans seem to think that they didn't buy the league, even though they spent record fees on the likes of Rio Ferdinand and players like that. It was like, oh no, we're just spending what we generate, and I think that's the argument. And Tottenham at the minute have got Kane's out to the end of February. Son's now on international duty. They've lost 50% of the goals straight away, so they're done. But I still think Man City will do it. I still think that they've got the squad. They've got the depth.
They've got. I think the most interesting thing to me for the Premier League at the minute is between 7th and 12th, because there's only literally, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 points between all of that, and it'd be a good. It's going to be a good end to the season. I think that bunch of teams. It's going to be interesting. Plus, we're in it, Kyle. So. There's going to be some rivalry there. There's only three points between us both, I think. So yeah, it's. I think the middle of it's going to be more interesting to me. For me, yeah, it's toss up between Liverpool and Man City. I reckon Liverpool, but I'm more focused on the middle.
Yeah, I apologise. I think my call cut out very slightly there, so that you'll probably hear that little funny clip that I put in when the call breaks. But it did recover, and I think the question was answered. So for me, I think Liverpool will slip up. I think Man City are just too strong. As far as how Watford are doing, I suppose we're overachieving. No one expected us to be where we are. Anything top 10 would be fantastic, but probably would have put us around 12th, something like that. But if we stay where we are, we're going on a European tour, so who knows? It could get interesting. So yeah, thank you, Andy, for that.
We got a little bit more. We got a little bit more. Sorry, he did say, Antonio, who do you think will win the next big wrestling event? I don't even know which the next one is.
So the next big pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble, which is actually my favorite of the year.
I used to
So
love
if you
that
don't
one.
know what the Royal Rumble is, two people start in the ring, both men and women. So there's now a woman's one as well.
Ah, cool.
And which is good. The women's one last year was good. And every 90 seconds, someone comes out until 30 people have come out, and you don't know who's coming out each time. So a lot of nostalgia acts come back, a lot of returns happen, debuts happen, and honestly, I don't know who will win it, and that's why I am really looking forward to it, because it's anyone's game, which is weird to say because it's scripted, but you get my point. So I can't technically answer that, but I guess no one really gives a shit about that, so I technically did answer it.
Years ago,
We're in a paradox.
years ago, if you went with the Undertaker as a wild guess, you'd probably be right. I don't know, 60% of the time, because he always ended up on top somehow of those type of events. The Undertaker.
That's because backstage, him and the big boss are very good friends. It's just
Yeah.
politics. I mean, I saw Vice yesterday, and politics is a bit blur for me.
Yeah.
And that's one of the worst sides of wrestling. Is a lot about who's big is just backstage politics. Like it all depends on what one man likes. It's weird.
Yeah.
Wrestling's so weird. Just weird.
And to close off, he said, "Cheers, everyone. P.S. Congratulations, Pete, on your engagement." So thanks, Andy.
Yes. And just very quickly, while we're recording, John Mouse, so at John Mao55 on Twitter, has replied saying he's playing chess. So
Oh, I love it.
Sweet.
there you go. Chess is
Nice.
good. I'm just not very
Yes.
good at it.
3D
But,
chess, 4D chess. Make your mind up. I need details.
Let us know.
4D chess, mate, is a whole new game. It's mad.
I'm not sure what that is, to be honest.
If you Google it, you'll have seen it before. I think 4D
Okay.
chess.
All right, I'll have
Well,
a
not
look.
3D chess. Fuck, I need to check for myself now.
Well, while you're
Yes.
checking, let's move on to an email.
Oh.
And I think that Katie should read it.
Oh,
Sorry, Katie.
it's fine. This is from Mark Wright, aka Mark Addicts. And you're a bastard, Mark. But anyway, subject, basically. Good evening, fellow nerds. So basically, this email is to basically just let Katie basically know how many times she says basically. It's basically quite a basic. Oh, I basically hope that this basically does not basically upset him. Basically helps him with a basically obsessive compulsion with the word basically. I'm basically basically here to help out. Love the Game of the Year show. It was basically awesome. Yours basically, Mark. P.S. Sorry, Katie. Basically, I couldn't resist.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I'm crying right now.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mark. It's a shame you didn't get a speak pipe in. You would have had your hat
Oh,
trick.
that would have been, yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for contributing. So I basically wouldn't worry about it, Katie. You'll be
No,
fine.
no.
Right, let's move on to some shout outs. Antonio, have you got any?
Not this week, no. So I just want to apologise for the zombie ASMR you heard earlier. I just want to apologise for that. And also, if anyone wants to give me a mixer for my microphone and my computer, I'd appreciate it, because this virtual one is annoying. So yeah, sorry, no one this week. Apart from you guys, I guess.
Fair enough. Katie?
I'm going to be shouted out. New followers on the Twitch channel. So who have we got? We've got GamerGirl27, who is Kim from Overseas Connection. We have Inkman32 UK, Martin. We got Lewis27 2718. Lewis, if you haven't already noticed, I'm reading the notes. That's my bad. Marsoni. Is it Marsoni or Marconi?
That's good enough to me.
Marsoni 888. Mark Anix. And Gribatronus, who has joined us for most of the podcast, most of the stream / podcast tonight. So, thank you to everyone that's followed the Twitch channel so far.
Big up yourself.
Yep. Indeed. So yeah, for me, just podcasts we listen to, Overseas Connection. Good to hear Mark Anix back. Band of Gamers, Veteran Gamers, Video Game Outsiders, Last Save Loaded, Midlife Gamer. Yeah, just thank you to everyone who contributed, and people who have actually been listening live. I've just tried to interact a little bit. It's not the easiest on my phone. I don't think it updates very well. And yeah, Van Pete for putting it all together. So Carl, over to you.
I really haven't got any major ones. I'd just say, have a listen to a band of gamers if you want. We've just done our favourites of the year show for the music part of the show. So our top 10 albums of the year, our favourite 10 albums of the year, we should say. And there's a nice mix of stuff in there, a real mix of genres as well for everyone to get their teeth stuck into. And I'm just going to shout out Antonio and Gavin about listen to. Was that your fifth show, Antonio?
Yeah, our fifth game about movies. Yeah.
Yeah,
the movie spin-off version. Yeah, me and my housemate Jonas do that.
Which is really good.
Thank you.
And I always enjoy his voice because he sounds like Seth MacFarlane. Is it does the offshoot of Family Guy, Cleveland Show? There's a bear in that show. It sounds just like him, which I love. But yeah, it's really informative, mate. So it's great to hear people who are studying movies, and doing that day in day out, and you give a little bit of a different viewpoint to that stuff, mate. So yeah, very very good show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Awesome. And then last but by no means least, Pete.
Yeah, mine's a soppy one. It's just to shout out Shell for saying yes, I love you, and that's it.
Oh,
Yeah, nice.
Congratulations, mate.
nice.
Fucking
Yeah.
right, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats again. But yeah, for now, as always, you can find us on iTunes and Podbean. Just search Entertainerds. We're on Twitter at Entertainerds. We're also on Twitch. That is Entertainerds Podcast. I'm at AdamsKD86. Pete is at The Legit Ginny. Katie is at KTEE120. And Katie can be found on Twitch using the same handle. Carl is at Stratham on Twitter and Stratham on Twitch. Also, as he said earlier, listen to a band of gamers. And finally, Antonio is at Heavy Evil and can be found on the YouTubes at GHAMVs. Also find Antonio on yet another podcast on Twitch as well as iTunes and Podbean. If you want to be like Mark and tell us what words that we say over and over again, you can get in touch by email at entertainerdspod@gmail.com. If you want to be like Derek and send us a SpeakPipe, you can do so at speakpipe.com/entertainerds. But for now, it's goodbye from Katie.
Basically, bye.
Goodbye from Antonio.
I couldn't hear any zombie noises, so I got no joke.
It's goodbye from Carl.
Ta-ta.
Goodbye from Pete.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me.
Cool. The internet didn't blow up.
I was going to say this show should have the title.
Well, do you want to know what happened to me last time?
Oh yeah, because it
Ooh,
went
yeah,
a bit
tell us,
fuzzy,
sorry.
didn't it?
Well, what happened for my
That's the cute way of saying it.
my wired internet is someone was leaning next to the router and just pulled the cable out.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What an
Thanks,
absolute
mates.
bastard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. No, that was good.
Yeah, good shit.
I can't believe it's not going to get to me. Don't worry, but it's kind of interesting how many. Once you stop obviously doing a podcast, how many words you just repeat over and over again. Apparently.
Totally.
I do it as well, Katie. I wouldn't worry too much.
We all do it, definitely. Oh shit. We all do it.